we are going to have these two levels of government, and it's up to the people to sort of show reaction and refuse to accept this. And I think this will come. I don't know how long it will take. I said in Ireland, and I've said in other places that many times when I go on an interview about the European Union finances and financial management, I get somebody on the other side who is Europhile and says, as the big argument is we already have corruption and fraud in our own government. And I always say, well, yes, but you don't need another level of corruption and fraud.
That's damn right. Exactly right.
I mean, it's such a silly argument that
Yes.
I can't believe they use this argument, because fine, if you have this level of corruption, you should do something about it.
Yes.
But at least refuse to accept another layer of corruption. And a lot of the corruption that happens in the European Union has to do with the fact that the people in the member states, ally with this and help them perform the corruption. So
Yes.
this is not only the European Union itself; it's working with the member countries. But it's this, corrupt structure that is causing the damage to Europe. So I think there is going to be reaction, but it may take years. And the economic and financial situation could have an impact one way or the other, that is making people very afraid and therefore just making them stop questioning the European Union,
Yes.
or making people very brave and realizing that the European Union is not bringing the solution to this crisis, but it is making it worse.
Yes. So Marta, if we begin to round things up here for this time, generally, are you positive, though, if we look into the intermediate future here and the vote in Ireland? The recent polls now show that support is going down for the Lisbon Treaty, and people are probably going to vote no. Do you think that's true? And do you think that we will indeed have a no a second time?
Well, because I'm fighting for this, I hope we will have a no.
Yes.
I have to be very, confident that we will get the no.
Yes.
I think it's going to require a bit of work, because obviously the yes camp has a lot of money. They have funds to run a proper campaign, and the no camp doesn't have this money. We are trying to help, but we can do as much as we can do. But I think that sometimes the arguments, even if made in a small group of people or in a radio comment or whatever, can have big impact. I know that my visit has had a certain significant impact. And, there are certain things that certain issues that you raise and the people in the street can understand very well.
Yes.
But such as, for example, the fact that Intel is giving 300,000 euros to the yes campaign. Well, Intel has a pending fine from the European Commission.
Yes.
I think it is a terrible conflict of interest that these people would, decide to give this money on the eve of receiving a fine from the European Commission. And these are things that the people in the street need to know. So it will require a lot of work.
Well, it will, and also, I mean, just to dovetail what you just mentioned about funding and so forth. I mean, I think EU spends, in a report late last year that was released, I think EU spends about 2.3 billion pounds a year on propaganda, pretty much. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
So do you think that that's difficult to fight, or is that rather an evidence to show that they're scared and they're really trying to change how people think, because inherently people are against the European Union?
Well, to start with, let me tell you, it's a waste of money, because the programs they design. I mean, I had the opportunity to face this type of publicity when I was running for MEP for the United Kingdom Independence Party.
Yes.
And, I met people who supposedly had to make a lot of advertising for the European Union, and they were very poor in arguments. So they probably put this money out, but it's a waste of time because they are not strong in their arguments. They are very poor. So sometimes I think it's better to let them speak.
Really, that's a good point of view.
It's the best publicity for the camp.
That's a very good one. I think the only problem that I have at this point is that we are paying for it, so to speak. The taxpayers in the European Union, we are paying for all this crap.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell me. We are all paying for this crap.
Yes.
But sometimes it has the other effect that people looking and hearing them speak is how they realize this is awful.
Yes.
When I was in Ireland last week, at the same time as I was addressing certain public meetings, Pat Cox was addressing certain public meetings, and Pat Cox, as you may recall, was the president of the European Parliament some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, this person has really no message to give to the people. So, and I was told by people who attended both meetings, mine and his, that, exactly what I said to you before, the best publicity we have is letting them go around and speak, because they really cannot make no solid arguments about this.
Well, to round things up here this time, Marta, the book is called Brussels Laid Bare. It's available through Amazon that details this inside story that we've briefly been talking about here today. And I want to thank you very much for your time. Keep up the great work over there in Brussels, Marta.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and for paying attention to this important topic. Help to spread the word as far and as wide as you can. And don't forget to further inform yourself about the EU by listening to our programs on the same topic of the corruption in the European Union and the Lisbon Treaty with MEP Nigel Farage, Simon Murphy and Paul Flynn from Truth Coalition Ireland, who just have been sending out copies of their paper Sovereign Independent. We also had David Icke with us recently talking about this issue, and we have an upcoming program with Anthony and Derek from We Are Change Ireland. So check out our radio archive for much more on this topic. And again, I want to mention that we're going over to Dublin October 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And if you have the opportunity financially and time-wise, go over to Ireland sometime before the vote. Go to one of the bigger cities, Dublin, Cork, Dún Laoghaire or Limerick, and let them know what you think. Show up, wave a placard, and talk to the people before they go to the ballot box. Okay, until next time, take good care. We'll talk later.